this amazing 620, but Andy's right, 622 acres that is very secluded. Most people do not know it's there. But the truth is that over 26 years, so far 26, more to come, hundreds of wonderful people offered and stepped up to help. They became involved, and that included the Placer group of the Sierra Club, and from the get-go, the Mother Lode chapter. We were always tabling, fundraising, advocating, canvassing neighborhoods to get support from citizens. And in spite of all that years of work, that lasted about a decade, as Andy stated, we lost our sequel lawsuit, then we lost the appeal, and then our referendum didn't pass by less than 500 votes. And we were, the loss of the referendum was one of the most painful. We were babes in the woods. We didn't know. We were following what we thought were the rules, but the developers knew the tricks of the trade. And especially with a referendum, probably some of you know, the language of how it's worded can make the difference between getting it right when you vote or not. And we suffered the loss from that. Years later, as Andy mentioned, the Placer group went through reorganization. Now, its terrific chair, Harry White, and I saw Harry right here, he has been diplomatic yet firm in dealing with all kinds of proposed projects, and he's been supportive of Clover Valley, of all of our efforts. We now have many options with environmental conflicts or issues, and one of them, which we subscribe to, is never give up. And in some circles, that is interpreted as, oh, you're just being stubborn. But if it had not been for the Sierra Club and Mother Lode chapter's support, early on, that was really somewhat of the key. Clover Valley could have been a 990 unit development of houses on the side slopes, the valley floor, and the ridges. After all the stuff that went on and mitigation measures were established, it is now approved, or it was approved, for 550 units. And, excuse me, so that's what we've been dealing with, and that hasn't changed. I mean, that's still on the table. But the development agreement expires December 31st. So we're, and then it's not a whole new ballgame, but major changes will be made. If the 550 does go ahead, which we're certain it won't, there would be the loss of wildlife habitat, wetlands, oak woodlands, meadows, and so much more. Currently, as Andy mentioned, there's been some saving of the valley, but it's only 400 acres out of that 620. And that 400 acres is now protected in a conservation easement in perpetuity, being held by Placer Land Trust and the County of Placer. But these other side slopes and the ridges are still vulnerable. We may have to settle for saving just the 402 to be exact, acres. But our bottom line is we're not done yet. And there are two more things I would just like to mention. Before all of this started, my brother, Bob Jasper, who's here tonight, was the caretaker of Clover Valley. He lived there and was hired to keep trespassers out. And he did that with a very firm, let's just say, voice. And he wouldn't even let me go in without contacting him and getting the okay, because I needed to bring people in so that they could see what we were trying to save. You can't tell until, well, I guess you could, but when you're down in that valley, on the valley floor, you don't hear or see traffic, even though Sierra College Boulevard is just over the ridge on one and Park Drive is the other. So in a way, once they found out he was my brother, he lost that job. What's the matter with them? So, and also, at my age, it's fairly common practice in most nonprofits to do something, succession of officers and all of that. Thus, also here tonight is our current, Clover Valley Foundation president, Doug. Do I see you? Oh, there he is. He's right back here. There. He was sitting out there. Doug Brewer. And Doug's background with developers has been a gift in many ways.
Background in CEQA.
Well, CEQA's yes. Thank you to all the members of the Mother Lode chapter for this award and for your many years of support.